Live. We're here under the Mat Radio. This is your host, Tech. As you see me, we're here with, of course, our correspondent, great staff member, Saltine. How you feeling, brother?
All right, lie. Get your ass whipped. There we go. We're back again.
Saltine got the bald, milk dud head as you see him. Then
Yep.
on the bottom of Saltine, my right could be your left. We got our man, our great editor, our correspondent, XO. What's going on, brother?
Hello, folks. How's everyone doing this evening? Time is 10. Yeah. How y'all doing today?
Hey, we're here live under the Mat Radio, bringing to you another exclusive, amazing, interactive, live stream interview. Today's date is June the 14th, 2023. We are in the Eastern time zone, but our guest is in the West Coast, so they're always behind us. As
West
always, you
Side?
see, you did the West Side thing. I'm not doing that, but you seen this man. You seen his group, the Violent Idols.
Oh.
Saying it like that. Idols, Violence Idols. You've heard their great music. They did the original theme for Jon Moxley, former multiple time world champion in AEW right now, leader of the Blackpool Combat Club in AEW. You saw them on Double or Nothing singing Wild Thing for about 20 damn minutes. You have our host V, who is the lead singer from Violent Idols. We'll bring him on momentarily. But other than that, radio, you can follow us, of course, on YouTube under the Mat Radio, on Twitter at UTMR underscore. I got it mixed up. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Follow us on Twitter at TECH underscore UTMR on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook under the Mat Radio for us and everything that we do and that we promote. Shout out to Ever Since Your Queen. Shout out to LSR. Shout out to DR. Shout out to Toph. Shout out to Ritzy. to the Chuckster. Other great staff members that are not on this interview. This is a special exclusive interview here, June the 14th, 2023. Yes, that's to say the paid window, if you will, here live on this Skype interview. This will be amazing. Parental discretion is advised. We don't know what the hell V is going to say. We don't know what he's going to do, what he's going to say. We know what he's drinking. He's drinking some good old red blend wine from the great Mrs.V, his wife. Shout out to her. So we're going to bring in right now, the man, the host of this interview, the one in charge of this interview. You may know him by getting super kicked in his face. Jim Cornette and Brian Last said he was doing blackface, which I don't believe.
Right.
He's the leader of the metal band Violent Idols. Clint Eastwood is one of their singles that is on their website. He has a hoodie that says "fuck you" all over there. Doesn't care, sips on wine, says "fuck you," loves Clint Eastwood and all 89,000 movies that he has and featurettes. You see him right now. Breaking in now, our guest. The leader, runner, the man in charge of the Violent Idols. Welcome, brother. How you feeling?
I feel great. Thank you for having me. That introduction was pretty awesome. You said Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette said that.
Yes.
Interesting. I never got the pleasure of seeing that. Who was the other person that you mentioned?
Jim Cornette and his co-host Brian Last, which I've had the pleasure of talking to Cornette multiple times at conventions. I have stuff autographed for him. He's a fan of ours, fan of mine. Love Cornette, great guy. A fan mentioned, and they did joke on his show about you being blackface, and we're black. If you don't know, you see Saltine bald head, you see me.
I didn't notice. I didn't notice.
You see me. Well, Exo, he's black. You see his hands. You can't see his face. Do that again. Just little hand. He's black too.
Unity.
Like, they mentioned on the show, his fans mentioned about the blackface to UV, and I'm like,
I gotta find that episode.
He got a mask on. This is not Roddy Piper at WrestleMania.
Well, I guess for what it's worth, I'll take that as a badge of honor to have Cordet, rag on me because he rags at everybody.
Yeah, we got love Corny, man. Corny, we love you, man. We love you. Shout out to Corny and Brian last Blackface. But V, thank you, man, for gracing us with your presence. We've been going over a decade
Sure.
strong on the show, and you
That's
will
crazy.
go down in history of our first metal band member, metal band lead singer that we've ever had on the show.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, thank you. I'm glad to be here, and this will be fun. And I love wrestling. I love this wasn't just a random opportunity. This was kind of the culmination of a lifelong passion, and it's fun to be here and chat about it all with you guys.
Definitely great. Going to take a sip of that wine. Gotta give a shout out to
I'm gonna
to Mrs.V with the straw. As I learned, when you're drinking alcoholic
Cheers.
beverages, fans, you got to do a sip through the straw because it
it messes up the paint. It's not very cool to drink through a straw, normally, but if I want to keep this all on, I got to do it.
I understand. And I was taught, when you drink out of a straw, you tend to get lit, as we say, faster because it's less oxygen going in your mouth. So you're taking in more of the alcoholic beverage, whether it be wine, liquor, hard seltzer, whatever it is. So you sipping through a straw, brother, you gonna feel it.
Well, I'll let you know by the time we're done.
You start taking that jacket off, man, and you start loosening that mask and playing
So
it.
it does get kind of hot in here,
Yeah. Here's to you, brother. This ain't wine, but you know what this is. This bourbon. The tech specialist,
Awesome. Cheers.
how we always start.
Water. Damn it.
But
It's all
Vic,
good.
we got you on here. Thanks for your time. We gotta first start off and ask you, man. Your name V. That's your name.
Yeah,
Or just something named V. How'd you come about it? What does it mean? If you want to tell us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this band's called Violent Idols, and obviously I have this look, the mask and the paint and everything. And a big part of that, and the same thing's reflected in the name V, is really kind of trying to remove my own identity from this project, which isn't why a lot of people are in bands. I think a lot of people are in bands to to advertise themselves, really. And for me, I wanted the music to advertise itself, and I didn't want, I just didn't want any amount of history or good, bad, anything to be lumped in with this. I wanted people to be able to just take the music seriously, or have fun with it, whatever. But I wanted it to be judged on its own merit, and that's kind of with the look. I mean, I started with just all black everything, and it was kind of the easiest way I could find to mute myself, let's say, a little bit. And even though it's become an identity within itself, and then you do just one kind of paint long enough, and then you're like, maybe I should add something, maybe I should change something. You get bored. I'm an artist. I like to keep doing something new to keep myself interested and stuff. So any variations along the way have come from with the look have come from just that. But the essence of it all, the name, the paint, the look is really just trying to have a fresh start where it's all about what this is and not what about anything else outside of this is.
I appreciate that. What were some of your influences or aspirations of the mask and the paint? As you know, we talked a lot off air, which you're one of the more fun people we've talked to off air with wrestlers, MMA guys. You just fun, got a sense of humor like we do. We know when it comes with a mask, or it comes with paint or mixing it, a lot of aspirations, a lot of influences come in. Myself, one of my degrees being in art. Shout out to my man Kenny, who has a great art degree, who does work for Baltimore City. Axel, does art as well. So does our team. So a lot of my staff, we all have art in certain areas, whether it be music or art or both, or drawing or painting or what have you.
Yeah.
What started you with the mask and the paint as a combo? Normally people just have a paint, which shout out the Goat Sting,
Yeah.
AEW, this was on there. You know, the Road Warriors, you got, you know, Ultimate Warrior, some of the legendaries with paint, Demolition, and then you got people that with masks only, Bad Superstar, you know, Jody Hamilton, shout out to him, Nick Patrick's dad, the assassin, the spoiler, you know, you see all these people that wore just a mask with no paint, but you decided to combine both.
Yeah, lots of the people you just mentioned are definitely combined influences in regards to the look. Like wrestling for sure is a direct influence on this project and the look, and just the things I've grown up thinking were cool, whether it was the Undertaker, Mankind, or musicians like Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie, and all that kind of stuff. It sort of all got thrown in a pot, I think, when it came to like where I drew influence from. But how I arrived at this was really in stages, kind of experimentally. I started with different kinds of paint, and I painted my face. First I painted my face like red or something, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't look right. And then painted my face black, and then I was like, I still kind of just look like myself, and it looks a little weird. So then I was like, well, how do I make myself not look like myself? And I tried masks on their own too. Same thing. I tried masks on their own too. And if you put a mask on and you just look like you're in, a bad Halloween contest or something. And even this mask, if I put it on without the paint, it doesn't feel right to me. And I feel like it feels like totally pretend. But somehow, eventually I just kept trying it in stages. I'm like, okay, let me probably paint underneath it, and then I did it. And it felt a lot better. It felt like the best it did until that point. But even then, I didn't have the same design yet and stuff. I kind of kept cutting away at it and doing different things until I arrived at this. And part of it too was even part of why I even added like I had never done the stripe to begin with until Double or Nothing. And part of that was even like I wanted people to be able to see my expression better. And it was turning, even on all masks, you just couldn't see an expression, even if it looked cool. No offense, XO. even if it looked cool, you can't tell if I'm angry or if I'm laughing. And when you're singing and wanting to do music videos and stuff, it can be a little one-dimensional for enough time, where I could see that just hitting the ceiling really quickly. And I wanted expression, and that was even why I added more to it recently. Was just like, how do I enhance expression? Well, if there's some other color on my lips, it adds more definition, and it makes that clearer and stuff. So it's art, man. You start with the big block of nothing, and you keep chipping away at it until you're like, I think that's cool. And even then I'll tell you what, once I landed this, I filmed my first music video, and I felt just like the whole time, is this even going to be cool? Is this going to look good? You don't feel cool when you're doing this for the first time, or all the time, or most of the time. But then you watch stuff back after, and you're like, that looks really actually cool. That's pretty way better than how it felt in my head. So you kind of grow into it and grow some confidence in it until your personality starts to fuse with it a little bit.
I know how that is.
I have to agree. And I'll turn it over to Axel in a second with him being our correspondent with knowing about masks. I like the subtleties. Sometimes you hear the saying less is more. And because you have the black mask, which isn't blackface, the black mask itself, and you got the little strip of red or whatever color, it in our class in art, they tell you that there's adding a small color to a dominant color makes that one less color advance, meaning that it projects to the eye, it projects to the person. So you right now having the black mask and having a red stripe, or it could be orange, because colors interchange depending on your lighting, depending on what you have around you. It looks red right now. Could be fuchsia, could be light red, could be pink. Don't really all the same fucking color wheel. It stands out because black is the dominant, which black is the best color. It's achromatic technically. Black is the best. We know that. But you got the red stripe, which we love because it stands out and it's like a trademark. And the fact that you even have your neck and your Adam's apple and some of your chest going down to your jacket, exemplifies that. Yeah, look at that. We don't even see your skin. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? As us being artists, we see that like, hey, it's just the face right here. And then you see like the little skin and the little giblets and all that. It's just the black and the red stripe. The small stuff like that is a trademark. It could become marketable for you, and we love that because we don't know how you look without the mask or the stripe.
Well, you're definitely right there. What you say, it definitely projects and gets some extra attention. And I've been doing variations of this look now for just about 4 years, and since like 2019, the end of 2019, when we came out with Unscripted Violence for Jon Moxley. That was the first thing we put out, and no one's ever had a problem. Granted, I've never been on TV for millions of people at once, the way Double or Nothing was. But you know what? Like, I know wrestling fans. I'm a wrestling fan. Wrestling fans are a crazy bunch to begin with. They're divisive no matter what. You have half the people against you because they're rooting for the other guy. And it's the things I've heard said and stuff, I don't think even usually have a basis in reality. I think most of the people I see that have said stuff, they got 3 followers and a profile icon that's not them, and like I'm like, who are these people, right? I almost replied to one guy once, and then I went and clicked his profile and he had 1 follower. I'm like, I'm gonna reply to the guy with 1 follower. Like, I got better uses of my time. I'd rather go on a podcast. I'd rather talk to you guys. And of all the hundreds of messages I saw about it, I got 0 DMs about it. I had nobody come directly to me. Not one person come directly to me and ask me about it or have a conversation about it and stuff. So I guess that told me all I needed to know. I've never said this before, but Mrs.V is black, and she's the love of my life.
Yes.
And that means, to me, half my family is black, and half of the people I care about are black. And she helps me with all this, and it was her idea to add the red.
Nice. There you go.
So these are the things that the passerby doesn't know or see or even care to fucking ask. But if they do, I'll have that conversation, and I'm not afraid to. And I don't think there's there's no history with the band or me or anything to indicate that that there's any maliciousness there, and that's all just noise. But at the same time, it's I wear it as a badge of honor. I'd rather be talked about and have people make up their own controversy about what they think they saw than have it be forgettable and mission accomplished, I guess.
Right.
Indirectly, even if I did not expect that at all. Like, that was that was news to me.
Wear the villain hat well. That's all you gotta do. Just wear the villain hat well. Shit. Take it. Own up to it. Like, apparently it seemed like that's the V's. That's what they do, because my lady V, if you will, she's so this mask that I have on, this is 3D printed, and then I painted everything, and
Cool.
I showed her, but I have just like you, I have multiple iterations of this particular golden face killer. So the one that I normally wear has a smile, and it's like that. So while you prefer yours to have expressions, my mask has one specific expression, and it's smiling in a maniacal manner. So it's like,
That's
and
cool.
this is just my crazy
Yeah.
way of thinking. Like, before I kill you and you die, I want you to see the smiling face looking down at you, and that's where I got it from. That's the only reason. He said I had it, but when I made this one, she was like, "Well, make sure you add the blue stripe on it and start wearing that mask on because, as you can see, I'm talking in and I don't have a problem. But the original one, I could wear it on probably for like a good 2 to 3 minutes because of the way it's made. And I'm like, all right, I gotta
Yeah.
take this bad boy off. It's hot. It's hard for people to hear me or what have you.
Yeah.
And I always wanted a version of my mask where I could wear it on comfortably. I don't have to take it off. I could breathe in. I could still see out of it. So when I made this one, and I just wore it on for like the majority of the day. And she was like, I think you should start using that one next because the
Yeah.
original one I've been using that one since like what I want to say like when I came up with the Golden Face Killer, it had to been around like 2014, and I just drew it out, and again different iterations. And once I did this one, I'm like, all right, well I guess because I people know that face, it's time to change it, and this one may be the more dominant one going forward. There's two other ones. There's the original one, there is a second one, and then there's this one, and then I have like a it's a mask. It looked like a mirror, like you could look. I could see you. You
Oh, that's
can't see
cool.
me. Yeah, and that. So different personas: Golden Face Killer, the Strange Genius, Exoskeleton, the Reaper, Harold Speck, all of that. So I get it. I definitely get it.
Yeah.
And
So,
I always wanted to separate, just like you had to separate
yeah.
myself from all of that. Yeah.
Totally. It's both. It's an expression also, and that also has to coexist with practicality.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
and I've gone through the same things that we discussed with practicality, and I do different colors. I've done white mask, I've done black mask, I've done silver paint, gold paint, red paint. All different. Whatever sort of feels like it's gonna suit the song. If I'm doing songs or just like the environment. And you know, even Blackpool Combat Club. I was like, oh, let me like use their colors a little bit. I've been actually doing the white mask for quite a while for last year or so, and I was like, no, this feels like a good return to the OG. I was doing this kind of look back when we came up with Unscripted Violence. So I was sort of like, this is a cool nod to a nod back to that. But you
Nice.
mentioned comfortability, and it's the same thing. I'm always like, how can I make this more comfortable? How can I get a better strap for it? How can I
Right.
even now, I think if I was to do a full show, I'd probably have to uh, make some modifications to make it more absorbent, make it
Right.
more breathable. It's breathable enough for whatever the duration I got to do, but I start sweating and it starts sweating even more.
I was about to ask you about that because I remember Forbidden Door, and I'm like, all right, so this is a good segue to a particular question that I had in regards to that, because I remember the first time they did the stadium match, um, they was just playing Wild Thing. It was just playing continuously, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I think that's a botch. Like someone in audio didn't cut it off. So now I'm thinking to myself, like, I guess because they did it that one time, when they do it again, are they going to just let it play? And then I seen y'all up there singing. I'm like, wow, the band just keeps on playing. I'm like, wait a minute, my man is. I'm like, I hope he don't sweat out his paint because he's doing it, but I could see where the problem coming in at. So, what was the conversation like? Like, who approached
Yeah.
you? Was it Tony Khan? Was it John Moxley? Like, hey, we're gonna need you to sit up there while we fight, and the chances are you might catch a bump. Like, how did that conversation go?
For sure, for sure. So it was 100% John Moxley. I hadn't actually talked to him at all since 2019 when he said he was going to use our song. And it was just like, cool, awesome, like business is done, I guess, right?
There we
And
go.
he's a very serious, just cool guy. Like he's who he is on TV. I've hung out with him a few times, and he's exactly that person. It's not like he becomes that guy. He is that guy. So it can be kind of
Wow.
intimidating. He's just serious. He's dry. to the point, and he's fucking big, you know, and stuff. And you know, it could be a little intimidating. So it's not like I'm, you know, texting him like we're, you know, girlfriends or something, you know, the last few years. So he came out to my song, you know, we were off to the races with that developing, and then eventually they switched to Wild Thing, and I was just like, all right, I get to switch to Wild Thing. And I never heard from anybody in between when he came out and now. And then 5 days before Double or Nothing, he texted me and says, hey, this is Jon Moxley, and I'm curious if you know a band that could play Wild Thing on Sunday, and maybe take a super kick.
Honestly, he was like, sign me up.
And
Jesus.
you know, even though he's come out to our song and stuff, I you know, even I'm not sure how familiar he is with this project, because the project developed after that. The project developed from that. So I you know, I didn't have all this going on when he met me. I got all this going on based upon Unscripted Violence, really. So
Nice.
so you know, so I took an hour or two to think about it, to be honest, because 5 days away. But Violent Idols has never played a live show. I've never played a live show as Violent Idols.
Wow, I couldn't tell.
And this was, you know, 5 days away at T-Mobile Arena, you know, 10 to 20,000 people sold out, and you know, sold out in the seats, however many on pay-per-view, live, all that shit. And I don't know, you know, I don't know if I could do it. I didn't know, like, can I pull this together? I didn't want it to suck. First of all, I didn't want it to suck. So I thought about who I could recommend, and I was like, I don't think I can recommend another band that can do both. I think I could take the super kick, basically, is what it came down
to. Word.
I think I could take the super kick. And you know, and I called the drummer actually first that played drums of the show, one of my best friends, and it was sort of like, do you think I should do this? And he's like, hell yeah, you should do this. Like, there's no question. He's like, I'll do it with you. You know, this will just be a fun moment no matter what, and a memory, nice. You know, we're gonna regret not being a part of. So he totally talked me into it, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, what's the worst that could happen? The worst thing that could happen is I'll break my nose or be sore for a while.
Or have Jim Cornette tell you that you're doing blackface. I mean, that's totally worse than things.
The worst that could happen was not involved in my worst that could
love Cornette, man.
What's the worst that could happen? Yeah.
Right. So quick question: how long have you been doing music?
So I mean, I've been making music my whole life in different capacities. You know, different bands, different things. So music is second nature to me. I think art just as you know, in all forms is second nature to me. I actually did train for a number of years as a wrestling manager, actually at Jake the Snake's school here in Las Vegas.
Oh,
so I had, you know, I had a background enough to you know, by no means am I a wrestler, and I was a probably shitty manager too, but you know, I've done enough to be like, all right, I'm tougher than I think. I can take a fall if I need to, and you know, like, I'll figure it out. You know, that's always what I tell myself. And if I don't think I can, I don't know if I can do something. I just approach it like, once it's game time, the switch flips, and you put the mask on and the paint on. Yep. And whatever you got to do, you know, whatever character, whether you're in a band or whether you're wrestling or whatever, and it just happens. And no matter how much fear you have, how much butterflies in your stomach you have, once it's, for me at least, once it's time to walk through that curtain, essentially, you become that, and that takes over, and that's part of the fun of it all. Is like, you lose yourself in what you're doing, and you forget, you know. You forget who you are, even for that whole, whatever, you know, if you're doing a match and doing a whole segment, whatever it is, like it's a sense of freedom and whatnot.
I know when I put next on, I just totally I just space out, going to a whole different, like LeBang leaves and then Exoskeleton to go to face immediately takes over, and it's like, all right, you have a back seat. It's time for me to come out and have some fun. Time for me to enjoy myself.
It is, and doing being. I don't even like to say I am a character because I don't think of this as a character. I think, again, it's the look is to take away the normal character that exists, the me, right? But my points of view and my opinions, they're the same under the mask, with the mask. I maybe am more fearless with it all because it doesn't reflect back on me, and no one's gonna call my work and file a complaint for
Right.
it.
So is it safe to say that you have the and I not always use this reference, and I hope you get it. If not, then off air I'll explain it. Do you have the Batman Bruce Wayne syndrome?
Yeah.
So and what was it, Batman Return, when him and Selena Kyle the went to the masquerade ball. Everybody
Yeah.
had that mask on, but they didn't. And it was like, well, why is it like that? Because Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle is their mask. Batman and Catwoman is who they really are.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
That's cool. I mean, I love comics, and I love wrestling, and that's all that's reflected within that. I think
there we
it's all
go.
the psychology of identity and who we are on the outside, who we are on the inside, good, evil, where we draw the line, where we push back. Even Violent Idols, as a name reflects that. Like, I don't think of it as, oh, we're a group of violent people. Like, that's too one dimensional. It's. I think of it more like you can be a good guy, you can be a hero, and eventually, if you're bullied enough, if you're oppressed enough, you're gonna push back. Eventually, you have to step up. You have to do
Be
something
the
that's
villain.
violent, and the violent thing might be the right thing in that moment. Not that I advocate for that, but that exists, and I don't
I
think
like
we.
this guy. He
I don't.
gets
I don't think we can forget that. I don't think we should forget that. Like, even the word violence is not a purely bad thing. It can be self-defense sometimes, right? So I think of that within the themes of our songs and the lyrics, and just say fighting ideas of hypocrisy and
mm.
division and just stupidity
The
in
biggest fight that
general.
we all fight. Shit. Stupid
But-
people.
So when you think of the word violence, you take another sip of the wifey wine is what we'll call it.
The wifey wine. Okay, that's great. The wifey wine. Yes.
When you think of the term violence in any concept, for you, V, who do you think about first? And what action or event or moment do you think about? Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a tough question. I'm not
It's
frozen right now. I think we all, our immediate associations usually are sort of some sort of uncalled for aggression or some, like, I think we generally think of violence as being an offensive thing, as a knee jerk reaction, or as being an unnecessarily aggressive thing. Um, and that's maybe, I think, the majority of violence. Probably the majority of violence. Uh, but it's definitely not just that. We, like I said, we defend ourselves with that. Eventually, the bully pushes you down enough times. Eventually, you punch back, and that doesn't make you a violent person. That doesn't make you. It might make you the hero of your school. It might make you an idol. It might make you a violent idol in some
Mm-hmm.
people's books.
yeah.
But
Now
I like that.
pilots.
Ah, buddy. It's your fault. Shit.
Yeah, it is.
Good lord, man.
yeah, no.
So,
I think of a violent idol as honestly a good person pushed to the edge.
so who's your
And
violent idol?
I don't know, man, and that's where I seek refuge in. That's where I seek refuge in, I guess, in comics and wrestling. I mean, Undertaker was always great because he was sort of evil, and in the
was
in the stereotypical look of everything, but why he did things or why he beat people or why he won a match wasn't really an expression of just that evil. Usually he was almost kind of trying to fight someone for a different reason than that, whether it was they were antagonizing him and just poke it at him enough till he had to take him out, or whether they were just a super frivolous, obnoxious character, and you just had to put an end to that to make the world a better place.
Like Jim Cornette.
Yeah. I think of those guys as that for sure. Batman is that. Absolutely, Batman is that. And
there we go.
And I think we can all identify with a part of that. And we might be quick to not to, or to say we don't, or to try to disconnect ourselves from those ideas. But man, who hasn't felt some version of road rage or
listen,
anything. I wrote "Fuck You," the song, during road rage. Like it's like that. We go through that, and I don't think always the right thing to do is to be, let me ignore that and pretend that doesn't exist inside me. No, man, we find an outlet for that. Make some art, make some songs. Put that into the psychology of whatever you do, whether you're writing a book or starting a charity, whatever it is. Like fight back with your own ideas and your own visions.
Right. Who came up with the idea for the John Moxley theme song?
That was definitely John hit me up. We're friend of friend, so I've met him like just in passing a couple times. He was living in Las Vegas at the time where we're located. So just similar scenes, people that love wrestling and music crossing over together locally. And he texted me out of the blue one day, "Hey, this is Jon Moxley," just like AEW, 4 years ago, before he was at AEW, and said, "Hey," but after he had left WWE,
Oh shit!
and said, "Hey, I need a theme song. Can you help me out with that?" And I invited him down to where I make music at, and he came down. It's the weirdest thing, seeing him in the parking lot show up and seeing Jon Moxley get out of his car and walk up to your front door, and you're like, "Oh shit, he's actually here."
Like, oh man, he might fuck me up. Get my shit together.
And we just talk music, and I asked him what he likes, and he showed me songs he likes and things he likes, and I asked him questions about, like, has he ever had input in his themes before, and I think he was almost shocked that actually I was asking for his input. I think he was just expecting some guy to be like, here's this. What do you think about that?
Right.
And I did it from scratch. I was like, what do you want? What do you like? How can this reflect you? And I didn't even know where he was going to be. I didn't know if he was going to be at AEW or on the Indies or Japan, or like. And he didn't tell me. He wouldn't share it to me. I think I even casually, lightly asked, like, "Oh, maybe it's going to be like an AEW thing or something." And whatever answer he gave me at the time led me to believe that, like, oh, maybe not, because he I don't know if he was still figuring it out or what, but he came to me in that in between time before his debut, and I put some ideas together, sent him maybe 3 things initially that were all kind of similar in different ways, but a little in different directions, and he honed in on one that he liked, and I did a couple more changes on my own, and then sent him that. And he's like, "Awesome, he's like, I'm going to play it for Cody Rhodes." He apparently played it for Cody Rhodes in his truck. Texted me right after, so Cody gave it the thumbs up. I think we're good. And that was basically the last I heard from him.
Damn, that's how it happens. Shit.
Yeah, and then he debuted on Double or Nothing, and came out to no music. So
I know that shit was mind blowing.
so even I was there, and even then, like I was like, oh, I guess maybe he's not using the song. I don't. And
Shit.
it's not like I'm hassling him or dealing with anybody. Like I didn't. I own the song.
Right.
AEW doesn't own it. No one. I didn't be able to deal with anybody or do anything. Like so. Anyway, I was just waiting for it to happen. I did not believe it would happen until finally, the next time he came out, he came out with it. That was one of the most fun moments of my life to see that for sure, and just to be part of that.
I definitely get that part. Yeah, that's what's up.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, it's like you can imagine it, but then once you're like, wow, this is the weirdest feeling to like see that as a thing, and part of history. All of a sudden, fans came out of the woodwork. I built this project in that in between time when he said he was going to use the song and I knew it was going to come out. I was like, how am I going to put this out? I need a band. I need a new outlet to put this out as.
Right.
And I built Violent Idols from that, and it became, when I started it, I didn't know, was I going to do one song or a couple songs or an EP or what? And here we are 4 years later, still putting music out. And that's just been the evolution of it, man. It just, wrestling fans have been so amazing because aside from Unscripted Violence, which is the gift that keeps on giving for us, we've done now the 2 latest theme songs for MLW, for Fusion and Underground, brand new, like within the last few months. We played Wild Thing and Double or Nothing for 10 minutes or whatever, and just yesterday, Rhea Ripley posted one of our songs with her latest TikTok.
Damn. See, that's what's up.
And Instagram reel. She used their song "Fuck You" on a TikTok and Instagram reel.
I heard that. I heard that. That was dope. That's dope.
She can't play that on WWE programming playing "Fuck You."
How cool is that? Like, I marked down that shit. Just because I was, of all songs she could have used, I was like, she used that song, and it's so clever about it too. Like she used the part that didn't say "fuck you," which is like a small part of the song because the song says "fuck you" like 60 plus times, and I thought that was so great. That was clever. I mean, I'm a wrestling fan, so I see that. I saw that shit randomly. A fan sent it to us and was like, "Hey, choose their song," and someone sends us that, and I think, oh, it's probably like a fake account or whatever, and I go to the real account and like, oh shit, like that's just so cool. It's like we've become part of this world in a way where like you don't plan for this stuff. I'm not out there trying to pound the pavement asking for these things and these opportunities. I'm just trying to make good music, and I'm trying to be these people's friends, and being cool when they ask for stuff. John, when John asked me with the AEW thing, I didn't ask for $1 from anybody. I didn't sign anything. I didn't. It was a handshake thing where I told John, I said, I got your back. I can do this. Like, I'm confident. You don't have to worry about any of this, and I'll just make it happen. And that's what I'm doing it for. And that means something. That means something to people, and that's worth more than any currency and stuff. And that's what I think keeps knows and keeps one guy talking about you to the next guy.
Right, and it's good that you said something early that jogged the memory of mine when you was working with Jon Moxley with the song, and he was shocked and blown away that someone actually wanted his input. Normally when I work with my customers, like designing logos and stuff like that, one of the things I always ask, like, hey, even though you're giving me creative license, what are some of the things you might be interested in? What's your business dealing with? Stuff like that, just to maintain that line of communication. It makes a person that doesn't have a general concept of what it is that they want to do, gives them that reassurance that, oh, okay, I'm going down the right path. Like, my ideas is not crazy. Doing that, like, I had did it for a client and it led to a design that I made for him for his clothing line. During COVID, Genuine went live, and he had the hat on that I designed. I'm just like, oh shit, I made that. Whoa, Genuine's wearing it all. Oh fuck, that's dope. So I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you know, you want to be doing things as a team. You know, you want to be collaborating with people like that, and and I don't do it to make them feel involved. I do it because I want them to be involved. You know, I do it because you know, this isn't just about me and my own dreams when I make music with anybody. It's you know, it's his dream. I'm you know, his dream is to walk out the curtain to an awesome theme song he loves and feels connected to, and it's my job to give him something that where he has that feeling, and that's not just going to solely come from me projecting just what I personally want on it, or anything. You know, it's like you want to do that too. You want it as an artist. You want to, you know, you want to get your shit in. No question. You want to do all your tricks and show people what you got. But at the same time, that don't mean shit if they don't love it, and if they don't connect with it and, you know, feel it in their fiber of their being, right? Especially when it comes to, like, you know, a brand. I mean, that's one thing, and that's true too. But like a wrestling character, that's like a identity. This guy's got to be that guy for years of his life, walking through that curtain to that song, and those years of his life become something that people watch for the rest of time. You know, so he's got to not just love it for a year or two or three. He's got to hopefully love that forever, or else we're gonna have a lot of uncomfortable viewing hours later when he recollects of the past.
It's crazy because when he first came out to Wild Dang, Lady V was like, "Why is he coming out to that dang music? Why is he coming out to this happy ass music? He doesn't supposed to come out." She missed the original one, the Unscripted Violence, and I probably said that wrong. If I did, I apologize.
No,
and when it's like every time Wild Thing comes on, she just be looking like, why did he just come up with this crazy ass music? Stop playing Wild Thing. So,
yeah, and I get it. Like, you know, I'm biased, right? I'm biased because I came up with his first theme song, but you know, when he came up with the Wild Thing the first time, I was like, oh, it's just kind of interesting. Like, hopefully this is just one thing. And then he moved into tag team stuff with Eddie Kingston and read pretty quickly. So with that, so then I was like, okay, well, maybe that's like their thing, and that was just a segue to that. And, you know, but I missed it too. I missed Unscripted Violence too, and I got I got hundreds of messages about that over time.
Yeah,
I see it to this day in the comments of every post I see where he's coming out to the ring, of people saying they miss Unscripted Violence and everything. And that's, you know, I love that. I mean, you know, I love that people think that. I'm grateful that they think that. You know, maybe we haven't seen the end of that. I don't think there's any reason we have. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if one day that changes.
Probably will.
You know, I have no idea. But the funny thing is you talk about wrestling, you talk about the absurdity of wrestling fans sometimes. And when he was coming out to Unscripted Violence, I saw just as many comments saying, "Oh, why can't he use old music from WWE? And why can't he use the New Japan theme? And why can't he use whatever he used at, you know, GCW?" And like every comment like that. So, you know, it's great to see people kind of fall in love with it after the fact. But I think it also took that. I think, you know, people, it's when they see it the first time, they're like, whatever. And then after they've lived with it for a year, they're like, that's the guy. That song reminds me of the guy. That song pumps me up, makes me feel like the guy, you know. And their relationship with the music changes, and that's what I love about all this stuff. You know, the music, even combining the music with wrestling, and with moments, with stories, with things like that, is you get really cool opportunities to like have things imprint upon people in a different way than if they just heard a song in passing in the radio. You know, people set their alarm clocks to Unscripted Violence. They play with their actors to Unscripted Violence. They, you know.
I have a wild question. Once you're done, I have a very wild question for you.
Yeah.
So, in As a reason I ask this, through your music career, what is one of the wildest moments that a friend told you that they played your music?
Wildest moments where they played my music. I mean, you know, you're in the music business long enough. Your barometer for wild changes. It's like I can be like, yeah, that's I've I've seen I've seen and heard our music played at like strip clubs and stuff. And
Yep.
but like, well, I don't know, that's like middle of the road wild.
I actually had someone tell me like an instrumental that I had made. One of my homies hit me up like, "Yo, I love that instrumental you played. Can you send it to me?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll send it to you." Like a week later, he was like, "Bro, yo, I need you to make me something else. Yo, I played that for me and my girl. Yo, we hit it off last night." I'm like, "Dude, what?" I'm about buying background music? No, kid, can't do that.
Nah, I mean, that's the great thing about music. It's like it can connect to any moment, any kind of moment. You know, if I can passionate moment with your partner, or a
Right.
sexy moment at a strip club, a action-packed moment at a wrestling event, and it adds just more detail and nuance and color and everything to the whole experience of life, whatever that is, and I love that. Like,
What are some metal bands or even bands that's outside of the metal genre that has inspired you guys and inspired you?
yeah, for sure.
New metal too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
new metal. Yeah.
within the genre, for sure, like all the classic new metal shit. I mean, from the obvious Limp Bizkit and Korn to maybe the more industrial metal kind of stuff like Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, Rammstein, you know, things like that kind of especially combine electronics and metal. That's a big thing for me. Is I love production. I love uh, sounds and just sonic aesthetic, let's say, and stuff. So guitar, bass, drums. That's boring to me. I've heard that before. That's a black and white movie. You know, in my
See,
book.
Yeah.
There's
deeper.
plenty of classic black and white movies, and I'll watch the classic black and white movies and say that's a classic black and white movie. But I don't think you can do anything new in the format. I don't think you can, and I don't want to do throwback stuff just solely. Like I love paying homage. I love tipping my hat and celebrating stuff, like that. But I always want to think I'm moving forward, and if I'm not moving forward, why am I doing this? It really so within the genre, those the Nine Inch Nails, I love shit like that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. Well
listen
said.
Yeah,
to it.
Trent Reznor.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, he's the greatest. He's the greatest, and things that when I can listen to it and be like, I don't know how they did this. I don't know what I'm listening to. I don't know if this is a guitar or a keyboard or real drums or fake drums. It's like wrestling. It suspends your whole reality and takes you to another place, and that place doesn't exist anywhere else in real life. And outside the genre, which to be honest, I mostly probably listen to music outside the genre. I love, you know, I love hip hop. I know it's an unpopular opinion right now, but I love Kanye West, and I love, not him
Easy.
not him as a person, same like Clint Eastwood.
Word.
Easy.
We could put them in kind of a similar category, geniuses that do awesome art. But I love, I think he had an attitude like that too, where he's trying to just, whether it's right or wrong at any moment in time, he's trying to do something that's outside whatever the imaginable box is, and
Right.
I love that. So I love hearing. I love my expectations being broken all the time. The last thing I want to do is hear anything I like or see anything I like do a sequel or a follow up and have it be like, oh, it's more of the same, I guess. Like, cool. Yeah, you want some familiarity and you maybe want, some things to call back to and stuff, but man, I want my favorite things are the things I can't imagine yet. They're the things I don't know exist yet, and so show me those things.
I love 9 Inch Nails. I did I took class in college, human sexuality. Shout out to the Myrons, who famous group, white great couple that's been on PBS, been on TV, travel the world with talk about sex, sexuality, and um, we had to do a project on sexual songs. And us being musicians, me, Axel, you, and myself, me being a bass player, studying music yourself. And I'm gonna talk about your bass player in a second. I told you I was gonna shout him out too. And Axel of 9 Inch Nails, and one of the projects we did, what I did was 9 Inch Nails song Closer. One of the most amazing, riveting beats. If male, female, that's listening to this, kids, you want to listen to
That
kids,
snare
whatever
drum,
the fuck you
like
want.
sounding snare drum samples.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Ever of all time. Like,
Yes, that beat alone gets you in a mood. And it was all about music and how people don't realize how music affects your brain and how it could goes through your brain and affects your emotions before you even psychologically think of words. It gets you feeling the emotion. We know playing music as we all do. That beat is one of my probably top 20 beats of all time. But we know closest about sex, fucking you, violating you, fuck you like an animal, all that shit. But it's the beat that gets you. And I did a whole probably 7-page paper on it about the psychology of that beat, of how it makes you feel, and watch the damn video. And I'm sure you've seen it, V. I saw that you have, Saltine, you have as well, about that feeling of music and that beat and that do do do. And at times you don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't know what the instrument is. Is it a snare? Is it a beat? Is it instrumental? Is it electric? Is it, you know what I'm saying? You feel like you want to fuck something like an animal. You feel like you want to get up. There's no way you can listen to that song and that beat and be still. You probably gonna sip that whole glass of the wifey wine. I'll probably take another shot. We play that, you know what I mean? That,
yeah, even if you're not the target audience for that, you
right.
felt by the time that
Yes.
song finished. You're either you're stirred up or you're ruffled or you're hyped or whatever it is. Like for sure. And that's what I love about all this shit, man.
Yes.
If I can remember, uh, uh, seeing the music video for March of the Pigs by 9 Inch Nails for the first time as a kid.
Yes.
And it's not a crazy video. It's like their most tame video they have nowadays. But they're just like in a white room playing the song live. But these guys are wearing like tight leather pants and makeup and nylons and all these things that you remember seeing that as a kid and thinking like, I don't know any guys that look like that. That's really weird. And like, are they girls? Are they guys that want to be girls? Like you don't even understand it. You can't even. I couldn't process that and put it in any sort of box. And that's why I loved it. It was like it was like something pornographic to an extent when you see it for the first time. You're just like, I can't look away. I don't even know if I like it. It just makes me feel like a good kind of uncomfortable, and I can't look away.
It's like you know the killer's around the corner, but you still cover your eyes, but you open your
it's like but I got to see what's gonna happen next. And I think all my favorite artists, going back even to the older days of like, Alice Cooper or Kiss, and things like that, and just this fusion of this reality and non-reality and imagined reality, hopeful reality, idealized reality, and just having, that's just such a fun, exciting, like, form of expression is to explore and confuse all of that.
Now, V, you mentioned that Alice Cooper, man. And you taking a sip, I'm gonna take a sip with you. You mentioned that Alice Cooper, who we know is a legend. Alice Cooper is 75 years old. We don't know what the fuck your age is. We don't know how the fuck you look. With outside of Dale, anybody that know me know my background, you know V. I can find out if I really wanted to, but I don't want to know. It's the mystery. We don't know your age. You got the mask, you got the paint, you got the V down to your pride down to your nipples, down to your belly button. You don't know your skin color, all that shit. You come that I'm good. As far as your age and you mentioned Alice Cooper and a bunch of other people, what are some songs that are probably the most obscure compared to who you are, V, lead singer for Violent Idols? Tell us, shut up, EXO. I see you.
Yeah.
What are some songs or genres that you like, V, that will be totally taboo, if you will, to your genre of metal and new metal? And you laughing because you know I got you.
No, there ain't no shame in my game. You know, uh, I love music so unapologetically that I will listen to everything. So by everything, I don't care if it's, I don't care if it's. I'll go. Let me go for something generic and say, like, I don't care if it's Lady Gaga or Beyonce or Justin Timberlake or anything like that, and I don't care if
Correct.
it's something cool like a like Diane Atwood or even dancey stuff like Dead Mouse. Or like I love,
Oh, shit.
It did
you know,
much. Yeah.
uh,
Nice.
I love anyone that's really kind of larger than life, and I don't care what they do. You know, Lady Gaga is that, Beyonce is that. Like, they take you to this world that they've built that's like their own Disney, and people don't go. People aren't going to just see Beyonce sing some songs at her concert. They're going to Beyonce land, and being immersed in the whole thing. And I love that. That's just the first concert I ever went to was Kiss. The
Nice.
One of the first 5 concerts I ever went
Huh?
to was Alice Cooper, as a kid. So that just sticks with me. Like seeing things that are so larger than life. Like you see Kiss as your first concert, and every band that's a regular band after that is just a regular band.
True.
And yeah, other bands can make better songs and things and stuff, but I went and saw Kiss within the last couple of years, and still the best show I've ever seen. And it doesn't matter if they don't have the best songs or they're not the best players or they're not still 20, or whatever. Like these guys are in their 60s, going on 70s, and they take you to a whole other place. And Kiss can seem typical for me, but all those other things I think do the same thing. I went to Kanye West at T-Mobile, same place I saw Double or Nothing, or I was at Double or Nothing for, and you know that whole building was just bouncing. You could feel the whole building just bounce the whole time. It's like you're on a boat during that show. And you look around and the people are just lost in it. And that was when he did the floating stage across the audience thing, so the audience like underneath him and stuff. It was wild, and like those are just things you go see them once and you never forget that. But I've seen a billion bands where it's just bass, drums, guitar standing up there playing some good songs. Even on the best night, it's never as interesting as Kiss's worst night. Or
You,
God. What
you,
is
you
one of
mentioned something.
your what is a guilty pleasure song that nobody would ever imagine that you listen to?
hmm.
You got him looking up, EXO. We got him. We got to be looking up.
Every time I gotta
So,
think, I gotta look up,
yeah,
right?
you looking up.
Hmm.
Your head starting to swivel.
You know, I think you have to feel guilt to have guilty pleasures, and nothing that feels good that's musical should make anybody feel guilty.
Right.
no, no,
Right.
Like
Well,
that's a
I
great.
think the
that's
only time I had guilty pleasures were when I was young enough to close myself off from things, and I don't feel that anymore. I mean, not saying I don't do it ever at all. We all do, but for me, like anything that's a good time, anyone should be able to enjoy. Like you could not love wrestling, and if you go to a live wrestling show, you should be able to have a good time because it is a good time. And you should be able to go to any one of those artists we listen to, any of their concerts, not know a song, and you could not know Kiss and walk away and be like, this is pretty fucking cool, and pretty neat and memorable, and I love a good time. So if I'm having a good time with listening to a song, it's never a guilty pleasure, you know.
Right.
Maybe before when I was a kid, and I'm like, I don't know, like, do other people like anything, fucking Prince or something, you know, like, you know, when everyone's listening to, you know, when everyone's listening to new metal when I was a kid, you know, people weren't listening to that, like Prince, like popular stuff, right? So. So that was a guilty pleasure then, but for me now, would I even think of those? No, because I would give someone 2 fucking free snacks for saying that's a guilty pleasure. Because it's some of the best music in the world.
Let me rephrase that question then. What is a song or songs that you listen to that goes against who you are? So, so for example, me, I'm hip hop based. I'm an MC. I listen to lyrics and stuff like that. Wu-Tang, most stuff, all that. And a lot of people wouldn't believe if I told them like, yo, I fucking love Lady Gaga's Bad Romance or Lizzo's It's About Damn Time, like, or Beyonce 7-Eleven, like those songs, like yo, I hear you on stage, but you like these songs? Yes, I do. For some reason, I love Bad Romance. I didn't look at it's crazy because that song came out probably like what 2010 or some shit like that, and like all of a sudden in 2022 or 20, it's just a plague on my life. I actually end up downloading the damn song. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, what is something like that? Like, yo, why is V listening to this song?
Yeah, I'm I'm a huge fan of Doja Cat and and Megan Thee Stallion.
How you say your name? Say your name again.
I could listen to them all day long, and
that's awesome.
You know, that's just what it is. I don't feel guilty for it. But is that what people imagine V rocking up to? Maybe not. But
see, that's what I'm talking about. That.
And same thing. If the music takes you to another place, and you know, neither of those artists are singing about what their daily life is actually like. It's suspended reality, you know, and I love it for the same reasons I love any good wrestling.
There we go.
You mentioned something in the word I was thinking earlier, but Axel alluded to it, is the word of escape. As I said earlier, we love pro wrestling, we watch movies, we watch TV, and you mentioned about going to the concerts of Kiss, Gene Simmons, and everybody, Alice Cooper, Escape from Reality, which we all want, or the world wants even more than ever because of what's going on. COVID is still real, people. It ain't go away. You still got COVID and the world going on, and inflation, and eggs is like $15 a carton for everything is up. So you try to find a release or some type of escape or both. So you mentioned going to see Alice Cooper. We don't know your age, but I'm gonna guess you already know you're not over 50 years old and you're not under 40. So I'm gonna guess you about 44. Alice Cooper, what have you? He left on I'm good at
Yeah,
guessing.
he kind of fucked my head up because when he said, "Yeah, I remember seeing I Kiss when I was young." I was sitting there like, "Wait, time out! Oh
When he was
hell
young,
no!"
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh
Plus,
hell no, no, son!
right.
You got to be older than what the hell you
Look, he
need." No,
That's why I really wear the paint. You know,
he could paint his hair and dye his hair with the mask is black, so we don't see no grays. So you see my grays in my beard. You see me. Axel, you got the mask and you don't got facial hair like that. Saltine, you got a milk dud. So we know how much you weigh. You ain't got no hair in your head. So,
you know, dare I say, black don't crack. So you know,
right, exactly right. Look, brother. You got a black, beautiful queen, I'm sure. Black don't crack for her. Well,
oh
yeah.
man, fucking done. Fucking done. That's how you do it. That's right.
Look, black don't crack. Sorry. We like to have fun of the show, you know how we do. But my point was about escape. That's important. We know you middle age. We know you about mid 40s, early 40s. You ain't 48. I know you not. And I do. I'm doing IT for over 20 years, so you know I can easily find that shit out, but I'm not going to. But you talk about the escape, the Grateful Dead, or the Dead, the escape, Alice in Chains and Metallica, you know, the Master of Puppets and Woodstock and the Janis Joplin. You know, we're all black men from Baltimore City in the hood. Baltimore City, East Side, West Side, in the hood. You see what I mean? But yeah, we love Elton John.
I'm on the wire right now, so I know all about.
I know about the wire.
You got it.
I background act. I worked with David Simon. I worked with those guys, The Wire. I worked with those guys. We Own the City. And you watch The Wire as we travel. That's the first thing we get asked about all the time. They can attest to this. And my other staff members is Baltimore really like The Wire? It is, but it works. McCullough Homes, McCullough Street, Penn North. The Baltimore City riots that y'all saw on TV was only a block and a half. That was Pennsylvania Avenue, Penn North. That's the light rail. That's right there. I'm sorry, subway. That's a block and a half. They thought the whole city was burning down. We seen all of that. We've been through it. We done seen it. We done seen shit worse than what's on TV daily. We done seen rats run away from crackheads. We done seen crackheads chase rats and rats run away from them. So we had. My point is, us being with music, being musicians, us being black men, Baltimore City, in the hood, in the urban, east side, west side. We say over east, they say over west. Emerson Avenue, Saratoga Street, Bel Air Road, you know, Harford Road, Greenmount Avenue, over here, Irvington, Edmonton. You gonna think hip hop. You gonna think of Wu-Tang, Bone Thugs, Tupac, Biggie. We got fights about that in school. Who better, Tupac or Biggie? What about Nas? What about Young Jay-Z with that crooked ass fade? What about this, that, and other? Wu-Tang. What about Boom? You know, we got in them fights. Viva Soul, all of that. NWA against artists, against Naughty by Nature, against them, Run DMC. But little do you know, like us, you don't know, like Axel and myself and Saltine. I know about Elton John, Vinny and the Jets, Yellow Big Road, we love Journey, Janis Joplin, one of the greatest
Queen.
voices of all time.
Yep.
You know, we got
Grateful
songs
Fear.
that, like we
The
said,
Mamas and the
that's
Papas.
against who you would think is African American men in the hood in Baltimore City. That someone gets shot, it ain't nothing to you. Oh, damn. 10 people got shot today. Boy, that's low because it ain't 25, it's 10. That's a good day. That's how it was.
I feel like the
You see what I
question
mean?
Tech is trying to ask is, what
No, I'm
is
not
your
asking.
form
I'm
of
explaining. Is the
escapism?
music right that we into that's against our culture? You know what I mean? That we like Elton John, Janis Joplin, help me on XO people that you wouldn't even think. The
Billy
BG,
Matthews
Joe,
Band.
Paul
right?
McCartney,
The Gap
Puffin
Band,
Wings, the
right?
Beatles,
The
Jimi
Beatles,
Hendrix,
Rolling
I said the
Stones,
Mamas and the Papas, Leonard
the,
Skinner,
the
uh,
Coffees.
Led Zeppelin,
Backstreet
Kansas,
Boys. NSYNC.
Chicago, Journey. I could
Wait a
literally
minute
keep
now. You
going.
said Backstreet Boys.
My
Wait a
man
minute.
said the
What's going on?
Backstreet Boys.
What's going on now, Saltine?
Uh,
Explain that. V even
hey,
turned
New
his
Kids
head.
on the
Explain that,
Block.
Art. Explain
yeah.
that, Saltine. You
Flipping
said
in there.
Backstreet Boys. What's happening here?
Bye, bye, bye.
Yeah. No, I'm fucking with him. But this is so you know, V, about the perception of who you are or how we are here. That's not the music that we would get into, or you would think we would. But we listen to that music outside of the perception of who we are, where we're from, how we talk, how we carry ourselves, and we use it as an escape.
Well,
And that's
and
something you don't see in music and even in pro wrestling today much.
1,000%. And I'll tell you what. Like, I think that's why terms even like guilty pleasure really separate us, and that's what fences each other out and boxes each other in, and all that kind of stuff. Because you talk about escapism, and like, yeah, that's what all these things that we just, all the bands we mentioned, all the wrestlers we mentioned, that's what this is about. But what is escapism other than trying to really seek a connection with something? So you're not really trying to escape. You're really trying to connect. And we just get so caught in this trap of bullshit life, right?
Sure.
That we have to escape to connect. And how dumb is that? Right? Like, how dumb is that? Like you should be able to like any kind of music you want and not even have to like segment it. I should be able to like any kind of music I want and not even have to like this kind of I do like this kind of music. Like, no, I like fucking music, man. And you like music, man. And we like things that make us feel good, make us feel something, make us release something. And I don't think we do it to run away from who we are or run away from what we're dealing with. We actually do it to run towards something and to relate and identify and be able to organize our feelings and our thoughts and categorize ourselves in a way that transcends whatever cubicle we've been assigned in reality.
So I kind of feel like now we get ready have our own version of drum tracks because Tech and V are sweating equally, and I know what that means. So we're gonna play a quick game. Name some things that start with the letter V. I'll go first. Vagina. Boom.
Dude, you win the game. Clearly, you win the game.
Yeah, that's
the
answer, right?
You already got the high score.
Bingo. I could definitely keep going.
But that's the ultimate for us is who we are. That's the ultimate V word that is unmatched, is the vagina. Same with the word V. It's called other words that's not V, but I'm sure you can put in the comments down below other words that match with vagina. We got that. That's why Eric's smiling out the milk done. That's why we got it right now. If you smiling, please start to smell. We love it. That's the ultimate V word. We got it. You talk about the escape. You said escape, right? Did you say that? Escape to feel experience? Vagina. There you go. So awesome.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yes. Got that.
Like V said, look, that's the ultimate V word. They gotta keep going. You can't match another V with that.
I know.
I
Like
said a fan.
vacuum.
Look,
Cool. Vacuum, I guess.
I
There we
got
go.
a fan. They text me and said vasectomy.
Oh.
Really gonna go there? Really, John? My homeboy John from high school. Vasectomy. He
Oh,
said, what about V for Vendetta? Speaking of
yo,
match,
I fucking love
there
that
you go.
movie.
There you go.
For sure, that movie definitely had an influence on things. It wasn't the initial spark, but once things kind of started going where they're going, I was like, oh, this ties into that a little bit.
Yes.
And I think that there's an ethos and a sense of anti-hero-ness that we talked about earlier within that I think directly connected to what this is about and how.
What is the process that you have to go through of getting into Violent Idols, lead singer, the performer, and what is the process of you coming out from V to your personal life with your wife, with your family, your personal friends, or taking off the mask, taking off the paint? What is that like?
And it's amazing, like, because the mask and the paint really do make you feel a different way. And until I've put that on, like, none of that's. I'm not V until I put that on. I can't even practice being V. I've gone so far as to, even if I have to do written interviews, doing them with the mask on, just because it brings that out, and it's a constant reminder of which eyes I'm looking through, let's say, to a certain extent. So so for sure that's a huge part of it. Now I always need at least minimum 15 minutes if we're talking logistically to wear that and to just settle into it and become it. It's almost like a meditation a little bit. You have to kind of just like breathe it in and absorb it and just experience it for a minute. Now taking it off is kind of the same thing. There's a little bit of a come down. It's almost like if you've ever used VR goggles or something like that, it's kind of like that where you've had this hyper stimulation and then you take it off and you're like, all right, I guess it's just a regular guy now.
I know how that is. I have an Oculus, so yeah, I get it.
But it wires you up a little bit, and then maybe it's because every time I do it, I'm not just doing it to do something boring. I'm hanging out with you guys. I'm having a good time. I'm going on Double or Nothing AEW. So it becomes this association of this power. You're doing something exciting. Putting on the mask is exciting. Taking off the mask is removing that excitement, a little bit. So it's a thing, and I appreciate the sort of method actor way of thinking about things. And even when I did wrestling stuff, it was the same way for me then. Like I'm the guy I'm supposed to be from the parking lot until I'm back in my car, and that's I think you have to be to kind of like really feel it authentically.
I totally get that. I do. I know for myself, not making this about me, not getting the detail of us talking off air, people that know me personally, for me being a background actor as well, working on different shows on TV, I felt myself at times, I was okay with coming home and taking off the proverbial mask or the paint. But then there's been times where you get so caught up or used to playing a character, it takes a time to get away from that, to separate yourself from said character. And I played an inmate 4 months. I couldn't shave, and I was in Pennsylvania and at the prison yard and at an actual prison and planning. So a team can attest to it, EXO can attest to it. And it took me literally, a lot of you not coming back home with my family. It took me maybe 2 to 3 weeks to get out that mindset because I just felt aggression because I was just so used to this playing a role. You talking about 10, 12 hours a day, just angry and mad, fuck you, da 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 da, just angry. It took a while. So have you ever had times for yourself, and I'm sure people listening that's done any acting or method acting or anything where it requires like a repetition, have you ever had times where you felt stuck with the mask, the paint V, and when you came home with Mrs.V, if there's little V's kids or the family, the alternate V's and extended V's of your family, have you ever had times where you felt like, oh, I'm stuck in violent idol mode? I need time to separate. Have you ever felt time with that? And felt issues with that?
I don't know if I've had experience as much of that specifically, and maybe part of that's because my lady's so awesome and she knows both sides of me, and she kind of like prepares herself for both the ramp up and the come down, let's say. But I would say maybe more so in moments where I'm not V in life, and some of that starts to come out a little bit. You start to feel like, oh, let me push back a little bit on this in the way that V would, not in the way that that I would. You're not dressed as Batman, let's say, right? So there's an aspect of that maybe you feel sometimes a little bit like, and I don't want to say it's having glimpses of any sort of helplessness, because I don't think it's helplessness, but it's having a feeling of like, I know what I actually want to say about this, because that's what this guy does. This guy says what he wants, says what he thinks. doesn't apologize for it, et cetera, et cetera. I got nothing to live up to as this guy, and that's why Batman wore the cowl. I think, in the same reason, right? No one's gonna let the fucking no one's gonna let the fucking rich boarding school kid save Gotham, but at the same time, he was the one that wanted to, and the one that could, and the one that cared. And just because he was, I'm not saying this in reference to me or saying I'm a rich kid, because by no means am I, or have I ever been. But just because you are doesn't mean you don't have altruism within you. Doesn't mean you don't care about people. Just these are all these fucking labels we make up and project, and stereotypes we make up and project. But Bruce Wayne was smart enough to know that. Bruce Wayne is a distraction to Batman. Batman's not a distraction to Bruce Wayne. I don't think in the same way. So I think it's the same thing. There's times where, and it teaches you things about yourself. It teaches you learn about yourself doing this. Things I never thought about until doing this come to the forefront because of exactly what you said. You all of a sudden practice saying what you really mean, saying what you really think, and you realize, hey, I know what I mean. I know what I think. Why am I not that way all the time? And I think you end up being more that way all your time. That's what music does to other people too that connect with it. They think something and they wonder, is it okay to feel this? Is it okay to think this? And then another song tells them other people feel that too. Other people think that too, and it's okay. And that's that's where this all comes together.
Has there ever been a moment where you forgot that you no longer had the max on?
No. I wish there was. No, I wish there was. But, it's one of those things. You practice it enough, and you wear it enough, and you do it enough, where even when you're not wearing it, you can kind of imagine it for a second, and you can kind of feel that force field wash over you, even if you're not wearing it,
Right.
And I think that's the power of just mind and belief and intention and all that kind of stuff. And you practice the intention enough, you become it a little bit, I think.
Right.
And, things that to me in the beginning with this were the more outlandish parts of myself have become less and less outlandish in my in non-V mode, and
yeah.
And in a certain sense, I think V's become less outlandish and more realistic, more fact.
There's never been a stressful moment.
Yeah, this is. I just want to be authentic and real and engage people and communicate with them and relate to them and help each other and grow with each other and all that. And if this is what it took to make that part of myself more fearless, then everyone should do this.
So I know with my character, with the Golden Face Killer, I have did I would do, if I do a video promoting my music or my art, I would actually, when I edit it, I would do one part is just me, who I really am, LeBan or XO, but then I'll also film myself as the Golden Face Killer, and it's like I'm interacting with my outer me. So it's like I'm just visually seeing an outer body experience, or this is a illustration of what it's like when I have those conversations with me, myself, and I. I'm giving y'all a front row seat into seeing how the conversation between me, myself, and I looks. So, that's when I asked, has there ever been a moment where you forgot that you had the mask on? There's never been a stressful moment or a situation or occasion might come up where you just look like, okay, this is how I would handle it, but how would V handle this? And you sit back wait, Tom. So you kind of got to keep that line of communication.
True.
You don't want it to come out, but a situation might pop up. I'm gonna need to come in. I know I don't have it on right now, but yeah, I'm gonna need you to slide in real quick.
man, like totally, and like I said before, we're complex people, and I don't think any of us should be just the warrior or just the monk. We need to be warrior monks. We need to. The best version of myself is the combination of this guy and the actual guy, and where those can meet in the middle, and I think that's the best version of each other with each other.
So it's like the Hulk and when the Hulk and Bruce Banner decided to coexist and became Mr. Green. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, I get it. I got
For
you.
sure. Exactly. Like Bruce Wayne on the outside is kind of just arrogant asshole, little stereotype expectation of himself, but he's actually not that guy. And Batman might be, the more abrasive part of who he is, and the truth and the goal is somewhere in the middle. You can't be Batman all the time, and you can't be Bruce.
Sure.
And it'd be nauseating to be Bruce Wayne all the
time. Word.
Bruce Wayne or Batman? You mentioned Batman. Exo, great questions. You've been asking, love it, and had a bunch of fan questions here. So I've been looking down, so I've been paying attention, just getting fan questions. Who is the best Batman to you, V? Not Bruce Wayne, but the best Batman to you. You could mention the comics. You can mention the movies.
Here we go.
Yeah, we going there because I just got 3 fan questions.
Ooh.
Just ask.
Oh boy.
No,
gotta
I
look
said
up.
Batman. Now Bruce Wayne, Batman.
I mean, I love the comic book version of Dark Knight. Because he's so much older, and he's beaten down, and he's had his time already. He's already peaked. But he still believes the same shit. He's, the same shit that's important to him. In his soul and his heart is the same, and he's still fighting for that, almost flailingly, and like there's something just tragic and beautiful and about that. It's not the most powerful version of Batman seen reading 50-plus-year-old Batman, but you identify with it in a different way, I think, maybe, and I like that Batman.
Dark Knight, old grizzled veteran bat. What about the movies? You got Michael
movies.
Keaton. You got Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer. You got George Clooney. You got Ben Affleck.
I mean, all the visual nostalgia to me is Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Oh boy, everybody say that. That's a good answer. That was a good answer.
The actual, the Batmobile and the suit. I think of Keaton always first, probably. But I love Christian Bale. I thought he was great, and
Okay.
I know lots of people were divided on him and stuff, but I think the movies were solid, and I think they were dark and brooding and mature.
Same.
And even I love the new Batman too, but
it was awesome.
And that's great too. But it was just there was just something really gritty and like uncomfortable in a different way about Christian Bale's Batman that I like.
What you think about the voice? It looked like a cop. Wow.
It got better throughout the movies, I think.
Yeah, it did.
Like, he was a little more full on in the first, and it was just a shock too. It's the same thing like coming out with the theme song the first time. You see it for the first time, you're like, oh, that's not how Batman talks. And then by the third one, you're like, I guess Batman talks like that. And then you see Batman not talk like that, and you're like, he's not talking like Batman anymore.
That's a great point. What are your thoughts on Bane? We know the classic Bane, the animated series. Shout out to Kevin Conroy, rest in peace. The great Mark Hamill, the great Joker, Luke Skywalker as well. Younger fans, I do not. Was at an event not long ago, and the little 4 kids of the world, the little sucklings of the world, didn't know Luke Skywalker was the Joker. And I had to explain to them that's the Joker. You know, these kids are like 12, 13, 14 years old. So they don't know. I'm like, you got Google. We didn't have Google growing up. We didn't have a fucking cell phone or the damn internet. You know how it was for us. And V, you in that class too, because I'm gonna get your age, brother. I'm gonna get your age. But I know you grew up with no cell phones and no internet. We didn't have it either. But
at the end of this, you guys can each guess an age, and I'll say who was closest.
All right, we got you. We got you. So I explained to them. They didn't know. I was like, oh, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. So okay, you know he was the Joker from the cartoon. The one that's on Netflix or some shit streaming. It was on Fox 45 for us, 4 o'clock. Now they got the streaming shit. It's on Netflix or Hulu, whatever the fuck it is on. Yeah, that's him. So you got Kevin Conroy as Batman, which is great. You got Bruce Wayne. You got all of them with the mask. Now we gotta ask you, beside Batman, Bruce Wayne himself in the suit, the tuxedo, and we had to do this in psychology class back in the day in college with psychology because we studied Batman and superheroes. Who to you, V, with you taking the mask off, taking off the paint, the red stripe, the jacket, all of that, dyeing the hair, all of that stuff. Who to you is the best Bruce Wayne ever?
I'm split between, OG 1960s Batman, Adam West, and Keaton, because they were both gentlemen. Like, even when they were Bruce Wayne, they weren't totally snotty, and they weren't totally like hoity-toity. I think in how they acted, they were fucking good gentlemen dudes, and I think of that. Michael Keaton knew how to treat a lady as Bruce Wayne, and I think yeah, that resonates with me. I think about I've probably been on dates and thought about like how would Michael Keaton handle this and Batman.
And you think too is and that's a great answers is, and I never thought of it till now. Me and EXO, brother, we talked about this a lot off and Saltine as well, DRT. With Michael Keaton and Adam West, thinking about it now as you said it, and shout out to the late great Adam West. They didn't even know if he really was Bruce Wayne. We understand you not knowing if you're Batman. But they was like, hey, you really Bruce Wayne? Because Adam West, really Bruce Wayne? Michael Keaton, Batman, I got it on Blu-ray right in my house. Oh, you really Bruce Wayne? Shout out to Robert Wall, the great Robert Wall. Remember seeing he was in there talking? Vicky Vale, remember that? You really Bruce Wayne? So that lets you know how great they played, because it's like looking at Bruce Wayne, you can't be Batman. And then we don't know it as Bruce Wayne, and that's your human side, your real mask. We don't know you fucking Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? So that's a great thing. They don't even know if you who you really are as a human, none less a superhero.
Yeah, even as Bruce Wayne, he's kayfabing people as
exactly
as,
right. Kayfabe.
Their expectation of Bruce Wayne, and yeah, that's fucking life. People, those are the traps and the games we get forced into. Being, in reality, really, people want you to be a certain person, and you want to please them and be that person.
Who do you think will win between Batman and Superman?
Who would win?
Yes.
I mean, Superman's an alien. He always wins, right?
Nope.
Like,
nope.
What amount of technology is going to stop laser eyes and being able to fly anywhere without fuel?
You must have never read the Dark Knight Returns when he actually fought Superman.
I got the comic book upstairs.
I do. He beat the crap out of him. So this is
But
why.
can't he
So
just fly
this.
him up space for like 5 minutes and have him
So
suffocate?
here's the thing. This is why I've been wanting to break this down for a long time. Okay, this is why I say Batman could beat Superman. Okay, Superman is a brawler. Superman lacks technique. He solely depends on the fact that he's an alien. He's super powered. He's literally the Earth's. He's a demigod in a sense. Batman knows all forms of martial arts. Batman was trained by Ra's al Ghul to lead the shadows. Batman has a military mind, background, all that. He's a strategist. Batman literally took down the entire Justice League. He has plans on how to take down each and every last person. So when it comes to him versus Superman, there's been a lot of Elseworld comic books, The Dark Knight Returns, all that when Batman and Superman had faced off. And the one thing they always show is how Batman would strategically beat Superman. The one thing he always do, red sun, kryptonite. Once he got that, that's it. He can't fight.
I can buy that. I mean, when you think about that way, it's more likely that Superman's gonna walk into a trap that Batman sets before Batman walks into a trap Superman sets. Just because of that, like even that pseudo invincibility factor that Superman feels is what's gonna get him in trouble. Whereas Batman's gonna be playing games of practicality and reality and logistics.
It's just like when Thanos fought Hulk. A lot of people got mad because Thanos beat the crap out of Hulk. I'm like, no, y'all have to remember, they made Thanos military, so that means he's had formal training. Again, Hulk, superpower. He legit. I'm superpower, but I'm superpower. I get mad, blah blah blah. Can nobody beat me? And Thanos was countering blocks, chain punching everything. I'm like, yeah, he beating the shit out of him. I wouldn't want to fight this guy no more neither. So
Superman fights during the day. He gets his powers from the fucking sun. When a Superman did shit at night, nothing. Go home, sit down, lay to bed, pray. That's why you need Batman at night. Batman still
That's the real question. What time of the day is the fight? You know, like
right, Batman can be Batman any fucking time of the day. Superman, everything is bright. You see the sun. Sun is out 12 noon, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. When do you see Superman save some people?
Manage, we need to know the rules here.
Right, when do you see Superman save somebody with the sun down? He can't, because he get his fucking energy from the sun. When do you see the moon and Superman? It don't mix. See that? Don't mix. You said Batman's at night, but he can come put on a cowl and a cape during the day. He's Bruce Wayne. He's a multi-billionaire. And I gotta go take a piss. I gotta take a shit. Turn into Batman. Turn in, do it, whatever have you. So we just fucking around. We know we got comments down below. That's man, Superman can beat Batman. We know I shut your mouth. You be all right. He wore the kryptonite outfit. He beat him in Batman vs Superman, and that movie fucking sucks because why Batman ain't beat Superman is because he realized both of their mom's name was named Martha. Because their mom's name was Martha. What the fuck? You saw that, E. That's why you like that shit. We was in the movie theater, saw that. Martha, really? Martha Kent, Martha Wayne. That's why Superman ain't die. Because Batman was beating his ass with the kryptonite outfit. Martha. What do you mean? My mom's name Martha. Is your name Martha? You know if that happened in real life.
Sounds like Martha has a shady past, and she's still alive. And there's probably more to the story there than we think.
Right. You know what that happened in real life in the hood? That shit when it went down, Martha. Oh, well. You down. You did. Then you realize in the obituary, damn, she had the same name as my mother. Oh well, rest in peace. You good. Superman, can he tell a woman how he felt? He's Superman. Eyes, strength, flight. You can't tell Lois Lane how you feel. You can't tell a woman how you feel. Really, Superman? All that power, can't tell a woman I love you. Really, Superman? Really? Bruce Wayne had about 20,000 girls. and you can't tell one woman how you feel. One, you had one job, Superman. Can't tell her how you feel. That's why you got mad. But I'm just fucking around with the trolls and Superman. I'm already mad and fuck around with them all the time. Let's get back to you, Vic. Real quick before you go, because I know Mrs.V is waiting for you for your paint wear off, and we get to see how you really look. How did it feel? You get super kicked by the Young Bucks.
Oh, way harder than I thought.
Oh shit. Not
Uh,
good.
no joke. Like, everything I was expecting, like it was harder than I thought. And you know, I've had some training and things like that, so I've learned to bump a little bit, and I was thinking, okay, it's gonna be mostly on me to like make this seem good and like, you know, fall at the right time and shit like that. I didn't ever think about any of that stuff because they connected so clearly with my head that I just was, and I didn't have to think about falling or doing anything. I was just on the ground all of a sudden, just, you know, soaking it all in. And, you know, they like, we didn't get to practice that or anything. That's, you know, there's no practice that goes into that. That's game time. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. And they told me up front, like, okay, we'll probably try to get you here and here. And I had asked a friend of mine ahead of time, like an awesome wrestler over Las Vegas named Wes Logan, as well as a Shade, Las Vegas, and they're like, just protect your mouth. They're like, as long as you protect your mouth, they won't break your tooth. You know, so I'm like, I need to protect my mouth. I asked them, and they go, no, you don't need to protect your mouth because we're gonna hit you here, and we're gonna hit you here. Boom, right in the mouth.
Damn.
So yeah, I almost wonder if like they didn't already, like, that wasn't a plan where they know that, like, okay, worst case, this guy doesn't know how to fall. We'll just shoot him back hard enough
To
that
make
he'll
sure it look
fall.
like
You know?
so.
And
Horrible.
like, oh, my lips and my face were like vibrating for probably 30 minutes afterwards. I thought for sure I was gonna have like a fat lip or something. But I didn't, thankfully. And I'll tell you what, that's the best feeling when you get hit and your moments happen. If you've ever been part of a wrestling show and you've finally done your spot, you've done your moment, and you're lying there in the arena and the shit's still going on, and you're just soaking it up, and you're just feeling like, I'm finally done. Nothing else to do except lie here until someone
And wait.
drags me away. Hope,
Right.
hopefully someone's
Doing
gonna
the
come.
big show on WCW.
Yeah, exactly.
Come past
Like,
grab. Be like, come here, boy.
okay, you know. Yeah, nothing could prepare me for, even all the preparation I had for that. Like, it was unlike anything I've done for sure.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick, man, with your bass player. What's your bass player name? Shout out to him, man.
His name's Alessandro, AP, we call him.
AP, come on, man, brother. Look, I'm a bass player over 20 years. I play 4 or 5 string. That your brother was corpsing. He was laughing at your ass, getting kicked in the mouth. I watched it. Look, brother. I got a nerve condition. No. What the kids say? Was it at no cap? Does that mean no lies? Whatever it
The
is.
cat.
Okay.
Just say no lie, yo. Just say no
No
lie, yo.
lie. Okay, yeah. Shut up,
God
XO.
damn, yo. Don't do that.
Y'all old as shit.
Christ,
Look,
man.
so the
Okay.
I got nerve. Shut up, XO.
He's 44 saying no cap. Come on.
Right, no cap, right? So
Okay. What you talking about? You
so
don't even know what that
look,
means.
I'm on the edible, and this is Memorial Day weekend, right? If I remember correctly. I'm on the edible, had a few shots. I'm sitting in my house on my couch, and I see the kick. I'm like, damn, they fucked them up. And I see the bass player, AP, fellow
And
bass player plus
shit.
20 plus years, laughing at your ass. I'm like, he ain't gonna help him. He ain't gonna help him out. He's sitting there laughing, ha 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 ha. Like,
It's still
I'll
crying.
tell you, man. Like, I'm the wrestling fan of
yes.
and 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 everyone else is like to different degrees familiar with it. Like a guitar
Right.
player was way more familiar with it, and he grew up same age approximately, and grew up watching wrestling at the same time as me. So like, that late '90s kind of wrestling of Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Mankind, and Undertaker, that whole Kane, Goldust, that whole era.
Right.
So he was pretty stoked and seeing everything there. But the other guys, the drummer and the bass player, I don't think I could prepare them for what they were in for. And as much as I told them, like, here's what I think's gonna happen, and like here's what's like supposed to happen or might happen, and like they could not get it through their heads. They could not comprehend that like that's how it was gonna go. I think they thought it would be something way sorry. I think they thought it was something that would be way hokier or cornier or like more like slip on a banana peel-esque sort of thing or something like that. So they didn't believe it. They just simply didn't believe what was happening was going to happen, like straight up. And then when it actually happens, and all day long they were enjoying the life back there. They were eating and they're hanging out backstage and just living the life. But I'm the one with the pressure of like Christopher Daniels coming to me saying, "Here's what's gonna happen." The Young Bucks coming to me being like, "Here's what we think we're gonna do." Me reading my text with John being like, "Here's what I want to happen," and then I'm having to reconcile it all live in the moment. And and when they kicked me, like AP did not think that was actually gonna happen like that. so it was a surprise. I think as much to him, even though he was there, and I explained it to him as much as I could. He was shocked. He was surprised. It was funny. He was.
Yeah.
So that was one of the funny moments. Is actually seeing that
You
clip of
you
him
you
right after.
you gotta give AP credit. I'm just busting his balls. Shout out to him because he played, and as you got kicked, he was laughing at you, but continued to play.
a true professional.
So it wasn't like he played one note. He laughed at you, kept playing like 2 or 3 notes, and then stopped with the rhythm of the song. And I was like, yeah, that's a real place player. I said, I'm a bust
For
his
sure.
balls when I talk to V, but I give him props as a fellow musician myself. I give him, because he stood there the whole time laughing like, oh shit, what the hell happened? Play, he kept playing, he kept going.
And shout out to all those guys. The drummer Brian and the bass player AP are both from a well-known band called Gemini Syndrome. That's way more well-known than Violent Idols. So they were doing me a big favor by helping me out. And the guitar player Alex, he's an awesome guitar player in a band named Craft Midnight, and I knew him from he did guitar lessons and stuff, near me and stuff, and I knew all these guys could do it and come through. I knew they didn't know all fully what they were getting for and what if they understood what wrestling is all about and what can happen and what can go wrong. But they all learned that night what can happen and what can go wrong.
Everything good and everything bad.
Yeah.
So, ask you this, because I know here in the East Coast, it's already Thursday, June 15th. But in the West Coast, it's still June 14th on a Wednesday. Um, and wrapping up, and we talk off air a lot. You've been amazing. Have you on for part two, bringing your bass player, your drummer for part two.
Thank you.
Let us know what is next for Violent Idols. We talked about your new single with Clint Eastwood. I'm sorry, your new single called Clint Eastwood. Talk about that and what you got upcoming shows, fundraisers, different events.
I got probably almost a full album's worth of material ready to go. So the trick for me is always just connecting it to cool things and having stuff kind of focus the music around as I release it. Double or Nothing is a great thing to kind of kickstart putting some new stuff out. I think maybe one of the next songs I actually put out is going to be a song called Faces. So I think it's, you know, I wrote most of it before this event, but I think it actually ties into a lot of what we talked about tonight, and you know, different identities, expectations of who they think you are, and what who you think you represent, and the masks we wear, and the people underneath those masks, and all that. So I hope to do something that really focuses on that and builds off that a little bit, and probably get an EP out this year at least, and maybe a full length album if I can get enough stuff out by the end of the year.
So you just said something that kind of sparked the damn it, I'm kind of mad that I have to work in the water because you just said something that sparked the design that just popped up in my head with faces. I just said, I was like, damn, that shit will look dope on the cover. I think I might start sketching it. Thank you for that.
Awesome. Well, that's art should influence art. So you know, whatever inspires you, if you follow through with it, definitely, you know, shoot it my way, and I'd love to see it. And
I'll
that's
definitely make sure. I'll definitely make sure I tag you and nah, I mean, let you see what I came up with. But yeah, I was like, damn, that shit. I like that. That's
yeah.
something right up my alley too. So
You know,
yeah.
more wrestling stuff. Like this was the first live performance we ever did, so that's a pretty big deal. To like, you know, one for one, we've only played sold out arenas so far, live and pay per view. You know,
Nice.
that's all we do, right?
Right.
Undefeated. There you go.
So there's that.
Here's the
I'd like to do something cool, like fuck, get us on the Jericho cruise or something like that. You know, where we can do a full show and be involved with more wrestling stuff and do some meet and greets and things like that. I think that'd be really fun. So
love that. Look, Cornette, we love you, brother. You and I, Cornette, laughed and joked. Nothing but love. But if you see his face, he's not blackface. He is a mask with paint and a red stripe. It is not Cornette's fault. It was a fan that asked him questions about the blackface. And shout out to our people that acclaimed Max Caster, to Bowens, to Daddy Ass, Billy Gunn was great for us, great people who ironically rapped about blackface. You came on screen, people thought you was blackface, and the fan asked Cornette at him and other people about blackface. Like, he ain't wearing no blackface. He got a mask on with paint. I
Yeah,
text
whole max
Saltine,
on the
remember
streets.
Saltine? I text Saltine and said, this man ain't got no blackface. He just got his fake face paint and a mask. Get out of
I,
here. That shit.
anyone that knows there's so much more to it than, you know,
Exactly, right.
throwing any
So
one color paint on your face, right? So
it's
like
all in fun. They was all
the
joking
people
around about it.
that I see it as a reflection of their own, you know, lack of education and culture about the topic, and you know that's not who we are here. Anyone that knows knows that's not what we're about. You know, you heard it here first. We're not a racist band, and you know, racism is dumb. So
Oh yeah,
uh,
we
closed
with
minded of any kind is dumb. So that's you know not what Violent Idols is about.
you. The fans they contacted Cornette, told them they laughed about it. Cornette knew, but a bunch of other people, it's a bunch of other shows that mentioned. I'm like, that ain't no damn black face.
I want to
You
talk to
got a damn
Cornette.
4K TV. Look
I
at his
want to
fucking
spar
face.
with him. You know, head to head.
Right, look at his fucking face. You see a mask and he got paint. The same fucking shit you just seen. Get out of here. Get out of that shit. But
It's
we
like
all laughing and
I offensive from Cornette. Now he's the one telling me I'm offensive. Come on, man.
joking. You love Corny, man. Shout out to Corny, you friend of the show. That's all, man. Good guy. Tell her like it is, like we do, like you do. V, we're gonna close it out. Don't let go of this yet. We'll end the recording in a second. But V, let us know. We'll call this the plug right now, your promotional plug. Let us
Sure.
know how to follow your show, all through social media. Also, anything personally that you may support for us fundraisers, for us, orphanages, different areas, shelters, what have you that you support. Let the fans know that we watching some YouTube and all other platforms. know how to contact you for your show and for other outreaches that you do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can catch us at violentidols.com or Violent Idols, basically wherever any social media exists. We got the official lockdown on that everywhere, and look us up, follow us, send us a message. We love to engage with everybody and stuff. So by all means, don't be shy. And as far as stuff to plug, I mean, we've put out a dozen songs so far, maybe already. Check them out. There's all sorts of stuff there. We're always experimenting. We're always incorporating special guests. We've had the singer from Mudvayne on a song. We've had the singer from Gemini Syndrome on a song. The guitar player from Five Finger Death Punch on a song.
Oh shit! Oh.
Aside from our collaborations with John Moxley and MLW and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't think of this as like, it's not even a specific group of people or specifically a solo project or just me. It's Violent Idols is, us and our conspirators, for whatever endeavor that we're doing at the time. So come check that stuff out, celebrate it. As far as causes, charities, any of that, just donate to whatever your heart wants you to, and don't let me tell you or influence you what's important to you. You know what's important to you, and lean into it. So that's my advice.
Thank you guys. This was another exclusive from UTMR. Shout out to Axel with the hoodie and the mask. He's hot as shit. He's probably sweating underneath his neck. He
Not
needs
at
to
all,
wash
sir.
his face. You
Not
know
at
he
all.
does. Shout out to Mrs.V. And I'm gonna get her. Shout out to Saltine right there. No bald head, no sweat. Afro Central Queenie, love you much. Shout out to you. DR to Toph, to everybody that support us that couldn't make it on the show. Love you there. Under the Mat Radio will bring you the best interviews in pro wrestling, in MMA, in pop culture. This will be shout out and this will be uploaded very soon. We're about to end this now. We don't know what V's going to do. He's going to finish his wifey line and play some backs. And to show everybody else will. Love y'all much. Thank y'all for listening to the show.